Hi, hello, and welcome to the channel. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new, and welcome to another training chit chat. Today we have a very chill one. I haven't prepared any notes or anything like I sometimes do, but like I promised you back on Friday, this is gonna be a little bit of like a channel update, what you can expect going forward. And I want this to be very cozy, which is why I'm here, you know. I'm dressed in like PJs and I'm cozy, and I was planning on recording this first thing this morning, and then I realized that I still had audio issues. That could be the first thing. I did say in the last video, oh, I think I finally figured out the microphone, which was for like the third time in a row. And I hadn't, because it sounded good in test recordings, and then I sat down to edit and it sounded really, really bad, and I couldn't re-record that one since it was a horse shopping video, so I was a little bit mad. Mad enough that I today actually did what I said and looked up a full tutorial instead of just trying to figure things out on my own. You know, who could have thought that learning from people who already know what they're doing would be helpful. But yeah, I looked up a tutorial and I finally think I actually got something I am, you know, happy with. So hopefully this time I'm probably still gonna learn a little bit, play around, like find the perfect audio settings. But this hopefully means that going forward, you will actually be able to hear how good this microphone is, because I've gotten a so much better microphone than what I had before, and now I think you can actually tell, unlike in my previous videos this year. So yeah, that's great. But yeah, that was a whole other point. Let's get into the training. We could, well, I think what's first, I guess, like important to point out if you weren't aware of, but if you have hung around here a while, you probably remember back this summer I talked about how, I think the music is a little bit too loud actually, just can I, hopefully that makes it a little bit better and not too loud, but I do still record my game audio and my microphone audio in separate channels so that I can edit those audio levels individually afterwards. Sadly, I can't do that right now in CapCut because that used to be a free feature and it's not anymore. Now it's part of the Pro package, and like I mentioned, I'm not going to pay a monthly subscription for an editing service. So I'm actually currently looking for a new editing software. I'm leaning towards DaVinci Resolve, the free version, because the free version has pretty much everything you need. There's some features locked behind the premium there, but it's a one-time payment, although it's like 3,000 kronor, which is like $300 or 300 euros. It's quite expensive, but it's a good software, so I'm looking into potentially changing that, but yeah, let's see. But yeah, like I talked about back this summer, I dropped out of university, of basically what was my dream education. I was studying game design and I loved it, but I also hadn't really been studying game design for the last year, because it's a bachelor's degrees. Bachelor's degrees in Sweden are 3 years. So I was, you know, my 4th year this time, and I was doing, you know, just loose, like we call them loose courses, loose classes, like classes that weren't tied to my major. Because I got burnt out last spring 2024, and my plan was, okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of time of rest, but I still need to continue studying, or I'm gonna, you know, I won't be allowed to keep my apartment. So I guess you could only, like, my apartment had like a stipulation you had to be a student to be allowed to rent it, and so I continued studying in that if I didn't get, you know, the rest I needed. And because of that, you know, I didn't come back spring 2025 and wrote my bachelor's thesis like the plan was, because I was still very, you know, burnt out. And and that's why I took the decision to drop out and move back home, obviously, because I would lose my apartment if I wasn't studying. And that is kind of where I like left off talking about it ish. This summer when I did move back home, I did talk about how, you know, how I felt about it, and there's a whole training chit chat regarding to, you know, I dropped out and moved back home, and it kind of felt like what I needed to do at the moment. And, you know, looking back at it now retroactively, it was the correct choice. But now I have been, you know, home for about 6 months, and I think it's time to, you know, take the next step. I have been resting and, you know, not stressing, not studying. I'm not going back to studying right now because I still not in a place where I feel like I can do that, and I am contemplating if I'm ever going to finish my degree, which might seem very drastic, but I did study game dev, which is something that you can work with even if you don't have a degree. So therefore I don't think finishing my degrees would help me achieve my goal of working in game dev right now. And therefore I would rather do something else. And well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, you know, start like taking, I don't know how to say everything in English, but I'm gonna start with like doing like lifestyle changes maybe. Like I'm gonna take like get in contact with like my health care providers and hopefully like find some type of plan, potentially get evaluated for some like NPF diagnosis, or I don't know if you call them that in English, that's what we call them in Swedish. That's like ADHD, autism, well, dyslexia too, so I already have an NPF diagnosis, which is dyslexia, but getting potentially evaluated for something like that, because I've had a couple of people who are knowledgeable on subjects from both like back at my university, but also like healthcare professionals back when I lived where I studied, who said like maybe this is something you should potentially look into. So I want to do that, and I don't know how much time that's gonna take, especially because I have had a lot of bad experiences within healthcare when I was younger that makes it very emotionally and energy draining to just have any type of contact with the healthcare system. So I just, knowing that I'm taking this step, and I'm very glad I'm doing it, and I'm feeling like it's time to do it, I also know that it is potentially going to be something that takes a lot of energy from me, energy that I therefore will not have the possibility to put in other things like YouTube. And don't worry, this is not saying I'm quitting, because I do very much enjoy it, and this is something I started doing because I wanted to try and do it for a long time. But I might be going back to scaling down how many videos I post. Originally I didn't have a schedule, I just posted whenever I had videos, but then at the beginning of summer I started posting every Tuesday, and then this fall, because I felt like one video a week was often like, I had long backlogs of like event videos that ended up going out after the event was over, because I was only posting one video a week. I felt like it was a little bit too little, so I went up to doing 2 videos a week, and having done that now for a couple of months, I now, oh sorry, I now like feel like I maybe need to scale it back down, and I don't want to go fully back to like, oh, only one video a week, because I did feel like for a lot of times, especially during events, that was a little bit too little. But basically what I want to do, what my plan here is that I want to continue posting at least one video a week. I don't like how I'm pronouncing it today. But whenever I have extra videos to post, I'm going to post. And hopefully it's going to be most weeks where I continue to post twice a week. And maybe you might even get 3 videos a week at some point if I have a lot of content. It's gonna depend both on how much content is released and how much time I have, but I want to be able to feel like I can start also pre-recording more. That can be hard with Star Stable, with having it being a live service game, because obviously I couldn't have pre-recorded Friday's video, for example. I recorded that like on 11:30 a.m. on Wednesday. Like, I couldn't have recorded it much earlier. It literally was not possible. But I want to be able to pre-record stuff. And part of that is also going to be that maybe I start making more content of other games. I know I have a couple of videos of other games. They haven't done very well, but I still enjoyed playing those. I used to do a little bit of a rags to riches in The Sims. The reason I haven't continued with that one is predominantly because of the EA sellout. Because I didn't want to promote the game. I don't think I'd do much promoting considering how small my channel is, but at the same time, I'm just very disappointed in EA. That's not something new. I have been upset with EA for many reasons over the years, like many people are. But this truly also feels like, okay, they can tell us all they want right now that, okay, their values of inclusivity isn't going to change after being sold out to like Saudi Arabia, but we don't know that. And even if their values don't change, the money that I would be giving if I continue buying packs once this sellout goes through at the beginning of next year, I think it is, when the sell is when they finalize the sellout, then that was to be money going to something I'm not comfortable supporting financially, and to make the decision to like pull out of financially supporting them right now also means that, you know, they might see that like, oh, this isn't hopefully going to be as financially profitable as we imagined, but maybe it won't be. Probably nothing will happen, but yeah, that was my decision. Maybe I will go back to playing the playthrough, just not buying, you know, new packs. We'll see. But what I do want to continue doing is play more Rancho Rivershine and maybe try out some other games as well. For example, I don't know when the demo is coming out, but they did like say something on their Instagram today that they are hopefully going to get a demo out some point this spring maybe, and that is a game called Gnome Sweet Gnome. It's a little indie hand-drawn 2D game, and I really want to play that. I posted about this on my Instagram story, but one of my former classmates is working on that game. And it's just really cool to see her stuff and like seeing her art style, because she's a 2D artist. Like see her art style again. because obviously like I've worked on a game together with her that had like I've seen that art style, and like it's like I'm very excited to see where they're going with this game, and like hopefully, you know, they're gonna be successful. I've already played a game from one of my classmates worked on. That was another design student though. That video did not do great, but I had a lot of fun playing. That was also a demo because that game had not come out then at that point. It is out now, so maybe I should buy it, but I don't think I'm gonna play it more on YouTube. But that was Scan It. So obviously I know people who are making games and I want to play those games and I'll play those with you, and I'm gonna continue doing that. But obviously I'm not going to stop the Star Stable videos because I love Star Stable. This is my main game. I'm so sorry. I had one biscuit or one salted cracker, saltine, call them that. I had one saltine prior to recording this, and I've had so much water, and my voice is still like, no, you won't be able to speak properly, and I'm so sorry about that. I did not imagine that one saltine could mess my voice up this much. I'm feeling horrible. But, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, so I'm not gonna stop making Star Stable content, but in favor of being able to pre-record when I have the time and the energy so that I have videos when I need to. And if I get really good at that, I could probably go back to making 2 videos a week. It's just I need at least a transitional period right now. But there's going to continue being Star Stable videos, being training chit chats, there's going to be event reviews, there's going to be horse shopping videos. I did try and talk about this in my like winter event review and shopping video, but I got distracted, like always. But I have a big goal for this year, and that is to get back to having like no horses to train, that I only buy horses with the exception of event horses and limited edition horses. How do you say it? When I have no horses left to train. I used to do that up until I started retiring a bunch of horses, and then I wasn't able to keep up, and then it happened that I just had so many untrained horses. But I currently have, I think, 16 untrained horses, because I bought a Connemara, and I also finally got the Recruit a Friend Dutch Warmblood. I didn't feel like I had the time to sit down and play to that point back in like November, December, when I was still trying to get like 100 horses trained in 2025, but I've sat down now. It took less than 3 days to do, because I already had an account that was level 5, and then I just recruited that account and I played through that. So I now have 2 more untrained horses, so I've trained 2 horses this year, and then I've gotten 2 new horses this year. Which is why we also need to train Pixie Dust here. But yeah, that is a goal I have. So maybe there won't be as many horse shopping videos, at least at the beginning of the year. Hopefully I'm going to be able to get a lot of horses trained, and then, you know, then we can start doing horse shopping videos. Like, whenever I want to buy a horse, I can, unless, you know, there's always the chance of Bella happening, in the sense that we'll be on Discord and she'll be like, this is a very cute horse. I was about to start speaking Swedish, no, but this is a very cute horse, you need to buy it. And then, or if I did a mistake of mentioning that the horse is cute, and then she's gonna be like, start being basically very poetic about how beautiful a horse is until I cave and buy it. It's very dangerous to be on late night calls on Discord with Bella. You end up spending star coins. So that could always happen. But then, you know, we could do more like letting my Instagram followers pick what horse I buy based off emojis. It's been a long while since I did one of those. I don't think I've done one since my birthday, actually. Yeah, I don't think I've done one since my birthday, which was in June. June. I can't speak English. So I did one for my birthday. We'll be fun to do that again this year. But yeah, if you want to be a part of when those happen, because I definitely want to do one again, that would be on my Instagram story. You can follow me on Instagram to see that, and that I'm Kaisa Dragrod there too. You can also find it linked down below in my description box, and you can also find it linked in my bio here on YouTube. So yeah, follow me there if you want to. I post Star Stable photos. I've been a little bit of a break from there too during January, because I just needed to, you know, take some time, rest, regain my energy, both after the holidays, but also just 2025 in general. I think a lot of us felt like 2025 was not a great year. But hopefully 2026 is going to be better. You know, let's actually make it better. Like, let's do everything we can to make it this a good year. There's a lot of things that are outside of our power. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get some things fixed with my health, and I've actually already started in parts of that, because I have mentioned, I think a couple of times at least in like community posts, that I have joint pain that comes and goes. It's worse during like winter and stuff, but I have it that comes and goes like all year. I can get real bad in summer as well. It's one of the reasons, for example, that I wasn't able to keep up with my schedule like this winter, because I ended up with so much like joint pain in my hands that I couldn't use my keyboard, because that's the level of pain I had in my fingers. And there are a lot of joints in the fingers, so when they are in pain, it's really painful. It obviously wasn't. I'm still not happy with the audio. But yeah, so I've also like already contacted my like doctor about that. I'm just waiting for like an appointment to happen. But that's also something I'm hopefully gonna get like more clarity on this year. But once again, whenever I'm in contact with like healthcare, the healthcare system in general, I end up very emotionally and energy-wise drained. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have lots of low energy levels this spring, which is why I wanted to talk to you about this, because I want to prioritize my mental health. I want to like get up, you know, yeah, like finally get to a point where I'm not stressing, like working myself to the bone for things. Obviously, I haven't been doing that now the last like 6-7 months since I moved back home. But that's mostly because I haven't really been doing anything. I want to be able to, even if it's not initially, you know, within game dev. Oh my. But I just like, I want to get to a point where I have the energy levels and the mental health to have a job, and that not draining me to the point where I don't have the energy to essentially be a human outside of work. Because I've had jobs. I used to work like during my summer breaks at uni. I used to work at like an ice cream bar, and that was like, I literally did not have energy outside of work to like eat or do anything. I barely had the energy to log on to Star Stable, and I was very stressed, and I literally almost fainted a couple of times at work because I was so stressed. So eventually I resigned because of that, which my employer understood and took very gracefully, and was very nice about. But I just couldn't do it, and I know that it wasn't like it like, of course the work environment plays a role in it, but that was not all of it. A lot of it was like things in my life that I just couldn't keep pushing down. and just ignoring. And that is what I'm doing now. I'm trying to actually work on those things. But it's gonna take energy, and it's going to be a little bit of a scary experience. But hopefully you wanna, you know, stick around, even if I'm not making as much content. I would like to start making like outfit videos again. I did that a little bit my very first, like, I did one very early on my channel, a Halloween themed one, and then I did a winter one last winter, but I haven't done any more like outfit videos since, and I think it could be really fun. I just need to come up with like a theme and then like actually do it, you know. Both of those videos were also made together with Bella, and it's really fun to make videos with her because we'll sit and like, I know I'm gonna just remove the in-game audio in the video anyway and put music over it, so we can just sit in the recording and talk and be crazy and just laugh at each other. It's really fun, but it obviously takes more time because then we need to wait for both of us, our schedules to work. Obviously back when I did those videos I was still studying, so I had to like, oh, I need to work on this that day, or I have a lecture that day or an exam that day, so like we can't record then, and Bella has work, so like then we had to match up like my schedule with her schedule. Right now it would only be like her schedules, but you know, I can start making outfit videos on my own as well, as much as I love making stuff with Bella. But yeah, I guess that was like mostly what this update was supposed to be about, that I'm gonna have some like, hopefully some health stuff going on in my real life that I very much need, but that can potentially end up being very draining, especially if I think a lot of us have had bad experiences with healthcare, sadly. I don't want to like badmouth the healthcare system. I have a lot of like family members and like family friends and close people to me who work in healthcare. I know how overworked and like understaffed they are in a lot of cases. But at the same time I've also had a lot of experiences where I'm just like not like listened to, or where people have just like, where me taking contact with healthcare professionals have been met with downright contempt. And that is just not a good experience, so I'm always very like, I always wait to get in contact till the very last minute, which is obviously not what you'd want. So I'm trying to get better on that, at that. And that might, you know, affect my ability to do YouTube content. That being said, I think I'm gonna go back to Tuesdays being my main day of posting. Now that I had my little like holiday break, which is also what helped me realize that, oh, maybe I should slow down because of like, I'm gonna have a pretty hectic, like, hopefully things are gonna happen and it's gonna be like hectic spring, the way like the holidays are hectic, which is why I decided to, you know, slow down in how many videos I was making. I posted on Fridays now during my little winter break, but that was mostly because I wanted my 10th anniversary shopping spree to come out on my 10th anniversary playing Star Stable, and that happened to be on a Friday, which was perfect. And I planned that video, like I started planning that in like, I think like August or September, when I realized that my 10th anniversary was gonna be on a Friday. It's like around the time I decided that I wanted to start posting on Fridays. But I think going forward you can expect videos on Tuesdays, and then there's going to be videos I think on a lot of Fridays, but not every Friday. There might also be some other videos, we'll see going forward, but predominantly videos every Tuesday and some Fridays, I think is a good way to put it. So yeah, but if you guys have any ideas of what you'd like to see, I think it would be I'm so tired. Oh lord. I think it would be fun to try out some like role play, to try and write a little story, like do a little one shot or something. I think that could be really fun. I think. And I want to do stuff like with editing. I had planned on doing like I did this fall, like the most autumnal dailies in Star Stable Online. I had planned to do one of those this winter. Like I had a whole list. I'd started doing my recordings, and then just so many things happened, and like my energy is so drained, and I don't think I'm gonna have the energy to like finish up all the recordings. I think I need to re-record a lot of the clips as well. And write a script and record. I don't think I'm gonna have time to do that for winter, which is sad because I had a really good long list of like dailies that are like the wintry dailies compared to like the autumnal ones. But maybe I'll be able to like collect one for like, oh, these are the most like springtime like dailies, and maybe I'll be able to do that for spring. You know what could be really fun? Like we could also do that rather than like an outfit video of like me showing outfits. I just realized I think I would be able to recreate a couple of my like real life riding / stable outfits in Star Stable. Not only because I have some of like the Star Stable Hawks collab like clothes that we got some of in game, like many years ago. The Swedish like equestrian like clothes and horse gear store Hawks had a collaboration with Star Stable, and they released some clothes in kids sizes, but I still wore kids sizes back then, and most of these clothes still fit me, or all of those clothes actually still fit me. I say I wore kids sizes back then like I wasn't a child when it came out. I'm not that old. I'm 23, so like it's been like 5 years since I became an adult. It's not like I was still a child when that collab came out. It's not that weird I could wear the clothes. But yeah, I have some of those clothes. Like I have the vest, the padded vest, and the knitted sweater. Although I have the sweater in grey, and I think the one we have in game with the vest is white. But like not just because of that, but I feel like it would be fun to try and recreate some of my like real life outfits in Star Stable. And we could do like me like trying to sit and talk, and like maybe I can show photos. I will have to like cover my face. I'm still not comfortable with my face being on the internet, so you're not gonna get to see that. But I think it could be really fun, because obviously a lot of times in Star Stable, like this is not a realistic riding outfit, right? Like this, I wanted to be cozy. I wanted like it to feel like I was wearing pajamas, and I really like this outfit. But it's not like a realistic riding outfit. I would never go riding without a helmet, first of all. Obviously, if we make like an outfit that isn't a riding outfit, then maybe I wouldn't wear a helmet. Like if we try to recreate my like mucking out the stable outfit, that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be wearing like, I wear a yellow puffer jacket. I don't think this is a yellow puffer jacket in the game. I have a yellow puffer jacket, black cargo pants, and then like old riding boots that are not suitable for riding anymore. With a little beanie and some gloves. But yeah. I think that could be really fun. So yeah, I feel like if you guys want to leave suggestions what I could do. Also, like if there's any games you want to try. I would really like to try out Equinox Homecoming. I haven't played that whatsoever. I think that could be fun to try out. But it's also like that I don't want to start too many different games as well, because now I want to continue playing Ranch of Rivershine. I want to like get on with that story and so on, so I don't want to like I want to have time to do that, I guess is what I'm saying. But if you have any suggestions of like a game you want to see me try, or something like just like see me doing Star Stable. Like, I don't know. I have thought about a lot, like doing like a playthrough of Star Stable. I would need to make another account. I have so many at this point, but it's the same thing with the voice. I just really needed to mute the microphone and have some water. But obviously I would need to make another account and I would need to buy Star Rider. But I think that would be fun. What is actually stopping me from doing that one is buying Star Rider. I will do that once I do. I have wanted to do a Star Stable like playthrough, especially because like I have played through the game many times, but like obviously when I played through all the opening quests on this account back in 2015, that was a whole different thing than it is today, and it took way longer. And the same thing when I did it on my second account, Simina, that I think I got in 2017. Like the game still looked the same in the beginning, like that. And whenever I've played it since, I think it still was the same when I got Princess as well in 2020 and got her to level 10 to get the snowy owl pet that was for good a friend back then. But yeah, like whenever I played it since, like I've never played through the entire game and seen how it changes. And I'm usually just like not playing it to enjoy it. I'm playing it like just mashing through quests as fast as I can to get the rewards. So that's a whole different thing, a whole different vibe. So it'll be fun to like actually go through it a little bit slower, a little bit more deliberately and play it. And I still also really want to do like a analysis of like a game design analysis of the gameplay of Star Stable using the lenses of Jesse Shell's book, Game Design, a Book of Lenses, which is one of my textbooks from university that's really, really good. But I think I could do that in combination with the playthrough, perhaps. But I will also kind of maybe just like start with doing like an overview of like what I remember from playing like Star Stable. And one of the things, like I talked about I wanted to do that, but it would take a lot of time because like the Book of Lenses has these lenses of like the lens of motivation, the lens of fun, and a bunch of different things, like the lens of puzzle. A lot of things aren't relevant to every game, but a lot of things are also relevant to a multitude of games. And then you can like try and like evaluate like what is the motivational thing here, or like is there enough motivation by looking at the game through these lenses. But the way the book also works is that if you just go to look at the lens and you haven't read the book in a while, you're not actually understanding what you're looking for without reading the context. So I would need to read, and all these lenses are at the end of each chapter, because like each chapter is for a lens. So I would have to like go through and read the entire book again to do that. And that's gonna take a lot of time. I love that book, it's great. And I would love to analyze Star Stable because I'm, like I said, like one of the reasons I know that this was what I needed is that I'm starting to be able to get creative about games, thinking like game design patterns again. That way I started to lose when I got too stressed at university. So obviously I wouldn't have been able to finish it anyway, even if I had stayed, because I wasn't able to think about the thing I was studying because I was too stressed. Which is the crux of studying something creative. It's very fun, but when you get burnt out, everything crumbles down immediately. But yeah, I would really like to do that. I think that could be very interesting. Because as much as I love this game, I truly, truly do. There are also a lot of things I see that I would like to see this improve. And I think like there's a chance that a video like that would end up being quite negative, like, oh, this is not quite motivating enough, or and stuff like that. But I don't want it to be seen as like look, everything is wrong with Star Stable, because it's not. There's a lot of good things, but it's more like I see a lot of things that could improve, that would be good if it improved, and I want this game to be the best that it can be. Obviously, I'm not an expert on this game. I'm also not an expert on game design. Well, I am a game designer, but because you don't need a degree to be a game designer. Before anyone's like, you didn't finish your degree, you dropped out. You can be a game designer without a degree. I just decided to go the university path because that was what seemed natural to me. If you do game design, you're a game designer, whether you have a degree or not. So yeah. If you're self-taught, if you went to like a YH, I don't know what that would be in English. It's a different, instead of like university or college, you go to like, it's more of a trade school, I guess. Maybe they're called in English. You can study game dev, game design at trade schools as well. Like, no matter which route you took, you're a game designer. No matter if you have a paper to show for it or not, as long as, you know what you're doing. But I think it would be very fun to like analyze Star Stable in the way of like, these are the things that I would like to see improved, backed by my old course literature. So it's not going to be fully like academic, because I'm not going to be out looking for academic sources, but it's going to be like, it's also not just going to be my opinion. It's still going to be my opinions, but it's going to be my opinions where they are supported, like, by a textbook at the very least. So like, I might have opinions that don't align with what the textbook says, but then I probably won't include those, because then that's a personal opinion, which of course all of it's gonna be, but like, it's gonna be like, oh, I think this, and I think we could maybe do this and this instead, or this is what's needed. Like, if we look at it from this perspective, and yeah, like, I can't change this game because of it, but I think it could be really fun to look at, just because I love this game and I love game design and I want to combine it, and I also like making videos. So like, I could combine 3 interests of mine, and hopefully you would find it interesting as well. But yeah, I think that is like a really big video I want to make this spring, or this year I should say, because there are, especially with all the other things I'm doing this spring, there's a chance like this is gonna take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and I would also like to write a script for a video like that. So that could potentially, like, something I would like to do this year, but it might not even come out this year. If I do it, it might take like a year. But I also think I could combine that in a way with like a write through or playthrough, where like I would play through a quest line, and then we could like go back and like do a second video and like analyze the quest from like a game design perspectives. I think that could be very fun. It would take a lot of time, a lot of energy. I'm not at a point where I can do that right now. I need to get better at pre-recording and editing and scheduling. I also need to get some other things in my life sorted. That's just also going to take a lot of time, like we talked about. But yeah, I think that is mainly what I want to talk about. We do have a little bit of extra time. I'm at the very least going to finish this race. So yeah, what else can we talk about? My reading we could talk about. We could do a little reading update. I ended up reading, I think, 110 books last year. That is way more than I usually do. I usually never read more than 100 books. And if I even get to 100 books, I get to 100 books on New Year's Eve. So I was way ahead of where I usually am. And I think that is partially obviously because obviously the last half of this year I haven't been studying for the first time since I started school at like age 6, 7? I don't know, I don't remember. Well, we started school at age 6. I don't think we had a lot of like studying to do at home back then. I think that it only like happened in 1st grade, so when I was 7. So like I've never had a break from school until now since I started like kindergarten. And that is a very weird thing because I didn't know what to do with myself in my life if I wasn't, you know, studying. But you know, I had my YouTube channel now, so I had something to do, and that kept me sane. But yeah, I read a lot, and this year I have read I think 5 books so far, 2 of which have been manga, and 1 of which was. Let's go grab that bag because I have, or that satchel because I have some garden powder, but one of the books was a book I wanted to read since maybe I was like 14, but I was never able to find because it's out of print here in Sweden, and I've been looking for it secondhand. I found the other 4 books by the author. They're not a series, but they're kind of like, all the books are the same general thing, but they're all different, like they're not connected. And they're like these YA books. And the first one I read was Hazelwood Girl. It's by Judy May, and I love that book. And I wanted to read the other books by that author, but they, unlike Hazelwood Girl, wasn't in print at the time in Sweden. I don't think they're in print now either. But I managed to get 2 of the other 4 books this author have written, at least that's been translated into Swedish. And I never managed to find the 4th, but Bella managed to find the 4th, and she actually gave that book to me for Christmas last year, and it was like, I think the 2nd book I read this year, and it was like just 100 pages. It's a very short book, but it's also very fun to read, and it was very nostalgic despite never having read that book, because it's the same style as those other 3 books by Judy May. So that was very fun. I've read a literary fiction book that was very sad, I think, and depressing. I read it in one sitting. Also very short book called Tokyo Ueno Station by Yumiri, as a Japanese translated fiction. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it because it's a very heavy book on heavy. It's a book about a homeless man who looks back on his life, on his family, that, you know, the family is lost, and like everything he gave up, and kind of the hard life he's lived. So I wouldn't say I enjoyed the book, but I also, like, it wasn't bad, it wasn't great. I have now read it. I don't regret having read it, but I don't think I'm going to reread it either. So yeah, just an average book. And then I read a book I've also wanted to read for a while. I audiobooked it, and that is Just Stab Me Now by Jill Berup. Because if you haven't seen Jill Berup's content, she makes YouTube videos and Instagram, I guess, too. She had this series a while ago about like an author trying to write a romantasy, and the characters like really not agreeing with her and doing their own thing, and then she actually turned that into a book, and that book is Just Stab Me Now. And my voice is really disappearing now. And now it kind of came back. Okay, we'll see how long I can keep going. But I wanted to read that. Kind of hard to get a hold of in Sweden, but I ended up getting my hands on the audiobook recently. So I've audiobooked that, and it was a fun time as well. I think those are... Oh, and the 2 manga I've read is A Silent Voice Volume 1, which was... It is one of the harder mangas I've read, like, in how... Like, it was hard to read because it's very... It's a book about, like, bullying. About how the role, like, the surroundings play into a child becoming a bully. And, like, that is, and I think he's also going to delve a lot into like depression and stuff later on, but I've only read the first volume. And yeah, I did enjoy it. I want to continue reading A Silent Voice. I've been meaning to read it for like 2 years. I bought it in like February of 2024, I think, and then I was just too scared to pick it up. And then, like, on New Year's Day, like, I'm not joking, like on midnight, like New Year's Day, like right after like midnight on New Year's Eve, I went on Discord, talked to some friends, and I was like, oh, I need to like figure out what my first read of the year is going to be. And then one of my friends, not even knowing that this book was on my bookshelf, was like, oh, you should read Silent Voice, because he reads a lot of manga. He's like, you should read A Silent Voice, it's really good. And I was like, oh, I actually have the first volume of that. I've just been too scared to pick it up, and then I did, because obviously I was like, I mean, if I'm struggling to pick my first read of the year, and one of my friends tells me to read a book that's actually on my shelves, I should read it. So I did. It was really good. And then the second manga I've read so far is... I'm trying to think if it was volume 3 or 4. I think it was volume 3 of... I'm gonna just double check the author's name, but volume 3... So, volume 3 of I Think Our Son is Gay by Okura, which is kind of like a slice of life manga about a mother who suspects that one of her sons might be gay, and how she is like trying to support him regardless of if that's the case or not, and just the story about her family, and also about her like realizing a little bit like how other people might end up viewing queer people and things like that. So far it's a really sweet story. It's also Okura, the mangaka, which for people who don't read manga, a mangaka is the creator of a manga. So like the author, but also the illustrator of like the main one, because obviously this is a team of illustrators, but the author illustrator of a manga is called a mangaka. Because I didn't really know that when I started reading manga. I just referred to the mangaka as the author. It doesn't really matter, but yeah. It's really sweet, but the mangaka Okura is a gay man, and he's writing this story about like a little bit of maybe how it is to be like, I don't know, I've never been to Japan, but like growing up queer in Japan, but from the perspective of like a mother is trying to be very supportive. So it's not as much a story of a queer experience, but of I guess an ally becoming an actual ally, right? And so far it's really sweet. It's like very much slice of life, and I'm enjoying it. I'm loading it from on Libby, which is an app. It's a library app, and if your library has a Libby account, you can get like your library card, and you can borrow from your library on Libby like ebook. So I'm borrowing this as an ebook. Is how I started reading it, because I saw someone online, I can't remember where, I think it was on Pagebound, talking about it, and then I saw it on Libby when I was just scrolling, and I was like, oh, let's check it out, and it ended up being very sweet, and I'm currently reading volume 4 of that. So now I ended up with lots of reading updates, but I love reading. My other current reads are I'm still going on with my... Oh, I don't actually know if I talked about this. I'm rereading Hollowpox by Jessica Townsend, the third Nevermore book, because I started... last year I started a reread of the Nevermore series in preparations of the fourth book, Silverborn, coming out. I did not get done with my reread before Silverborn came out on the 1st of November here in Sweden, because it was a couple of months later here than in when it came out in English. But yeah, I finished my reread of Wundersmith, the second book, in November, I think, and now I've been reading whole books. I took a little bit of a break over the holidays, but I'm getting back into it so that I can then pick up Silverborn and actually understand what's going on. And then I also have a hockey romance, which is... what is it called? Wait. It's Collide by Bal... or Bal? Cabra. I don't know. Cabra is the last name. Bal Cabra, I think. Because I saw someone say it was a fun, like, hockey romance, and it's been very fun so far. Very sweet. It's not like the best thing I've ever read, but it's not a bad book. So I think I'm enjoying it. It's very thick though, and I was scared because I like slow burns, so therefore I'm not scared of thickness. But I'm scared because so many of the reviews says it's a super spicy book, and so I was like, if it's this thick, how much of it is gonna be spice? Like, I want there to be a lot of plot, and the reviews made it sound it's gonna be like spice immediately, and that's usually not my cup of tea. Like, I have like DNF'd books because of things like that. So, but so far, like, I'm almost 200 pages in now, I think, out of almost 400. So, yeah, so far, I'm more like 150 I saw now. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm enjoying that one. Am I reading anything else? Oh, I picked back up A Nightmare Before Christmas by Sarah Rosh as well, which I started reading in like November, and then I got sidetracked by other books in December, it is a Christmas book, so it would have been good to read it then, but I'm the type of person who enjoys Christmas year-round, so, I mean, I might finish other Christmas books. I have finished Christmas books in, like, April and September, and, like, nothing's gonna stop me. I'm gonna read what I feel like reading. I'm a mood reader. So yeah, that is the reading update. 5 books so far out of 50 is the goal, which it has been since I started university, basically, because... my senior year of high school, I read 53 books. So I was like, well, 50 seems like a good reading goal, and I've met it every year since. Like I said, a lot of years I go way past it, but 50 books is still a lot of books. I know that. So yeah. I don't think we actually have much more to say at this point, but yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It probably wasn't the most interesting video, it was more supposed to be an update. I did end up rambling a bit about some other stuff as well, but mostly you now know that videos are gonna remain remain a little bit slower in how much they come out, but you can expect a video every Tuesday and some Fridays going forward, and hopefully that's okay. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, for watching all the way to the end. If you did enjoy this video, which I hope you did, if you watched it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing if you haven't already. I appreciate everyone who does so very, very much. If you want to see more things from me, like photos from in-game, or, you know, photos of my real life pets, which you can get on my stories, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm Kaiser Dragonroad there too, which you can also find linked down below in the description box. Yeah, thank you once again so much for watching this video. If you want, you can also comment, you know, what type of videos you would like to see, or ideas of what I could do, or if you really liked an idea I listed, like, I don't know, you really want to see me try and do a roleplay, then tell me. Yeah. Let me know that in a comment down below. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I guess I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye!